Tonight, first, join me over here where we are joined by special guest, Sound Devices Technical Marketing Specialist, Jesse Parker. Welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for making it out here. Jesse, where is Sound Devices headquartered?
The Sound Devices headquarters is in Reedsburg, Wisconsin. It's a little town, maybe about an hour outside of the capital, and that's where all of our gear is designed and manufactured.
So it's about 75, 78 degrees here. How is it up in Wisconsin right now?
We got hit by a big snowstorm today, so they're not having too much fun up there in the cold.
That's a bummer. I'm glad your plane made it out.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Parker, as the technical marketing specialist for Sound Devices, you probably get to spend a lot of time on set dealing with, I don't know, what kind of audio professionals do you interface with?
Yeah, a lot of what I do at Sound Devices, on top of make technical notes and make videos demonstrating how our product works and interfaces with other gear. I have spent a little bit of time on professional movie sets and television shows, and a lot of what I like to do is just see how they run their setup, what gear they're using, what's working, what's not working so well, and then I can bring that information back to the engineers at Sound Devices, and with the hopes that maybe we can design and develop a better product with our end users in mind in these professional applications.
All right, well, every television production or film production has its unique set of challenges. Tell me, you spent a little time working with the guys on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and you mentioned that they had super narrow hallways to shoot in. Who's in charge of audio there, and how did he solve those problems?
Mr. George Flores is the production sound mixer for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he had a great way. Instead of having a big, heavy, clunky production sound mixer cart, he had his 664 bag in a baby stroller. So it was all kitted out nice, but that was kind of a lightweight,
wireless shark
narrow.
fin antennas.
Yeah, he had everything kitted out there really nice. I thought that was a really creative way of kind of minimizing your footprint on set and still having all the tools you need. So we have a lot of creatives in the sound industry.
and prior to doing the film and television production stuff, you did a lot of live concert productions.
Right, yeah. My first couple gigs right out of college was I get to go on tour with Linkin Park and Pearl Jam and Justin Timberlake, Madonna. So
cool. We don't really like to drop names on the Doc Video Show, but who are some of the biggest celebrities you've worked with?
No, but so I come from the studio world, and then I started using a 744T when I was out on the road, and then when I left the road, I went right to Sound Devices, and because I had experience with their gear, and I got hired on.
So when you get to work with these guys, every now and then I imagine they're solving problems that Sound Devices didn't even imagine their gear could solve. Can you give me a good example of something like that?
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, there was one instance on a reality show where they were using a Pix 260, not to record master files, but they were using it as a timecode log, because all the video was wireless and everything, and it was essentially impossible to run around and jam all the cameras and all the audio recorders. So what they did was they fed all the video feeds into a switcher, and then routed the multicam feed onto a Pix 260i with the embedded timecode over all of the corresponding video frames.
So every camera has its timecode burned into the video output.
Right.
And then you've got a multi-view of all the cameras with their timecode.
Right. So if you wanted to find a matching clip, you could use that video log to see, I'm on this clip and I want to find the matching clip or the clip that happened at the same time. You could reference that timecode value on the other clip and then pull it up in your editing workstation.
Very cool.
So that was an excellent, really unique workaround.
So you mentioned that you get to make the videos and the instructional videos for Sound Devices. You brought one here for us to share. Do you want to set the clip up?
Yeah. We at Sound Devices like to make a lot of these instructional videos and how-tos, because we have such a broad industry and it can get kind of confusing. So This one is an overview on how to set up the MixPre-D with a Canon 5D, or any DSLR for that matter, because all the concepts are the same.
All right. Well, Virgin Lukey, can we have that clip?
Interconnecting the Sound Device's MixPre-D with a DSLR. Connect the stereo unbalanced mic level output of the MixPre-D to the mic input of the DSLR. This will send the left and right outputs of the MixPre-D to the stereo unbalanced input of the camera at the appropriate signal strength. Once connected, calibrate the input of the camera to the output of the MixPre-D. First, activate the test tone in the MixPre-D. This 1 kHz 0 dBu tone should be calibrated to -20 dBFS on the camera. Where this level is on any given DSLR may vary according to their meters, so be sure to refer to the camera's user manual for this information. In the case of the 5D Mark II shown here, the audio setting should be set to manual mode and 1 click above the lowest setting. If using an external recorder for dual system sound, connect the external recorder to the XLR outputs of the MixPre-D. Whenever possible, use line level signal when using an external recorder. Calibrate the 1 kHz 0 dBu tone to -20 dBFS on the external recorder. Under each of the XLR input connectors, there is an input selector switch. When using a shotgun or boom mic, be sure this is set to 48 volts, as 48 volts phantom power is required to use these microphones. If using a wireless receiver, this may be set to mic or line level. It is important to refer to the input source's user manual to determine the output signal strength of that device. Return monitoring is very important. It allows users to listen to what's being recorded on the camera or external recorder versus what's being sent to those devices. Monitoring what is being recorded on an external device is possible by connecting that device's headphone output to the return input on the MixPre-D using a 3.5mm to 3.5mm TRS cable. Once connected, pressing down the headphone controller will switch between output and return monitoring on the MixPre-D. For more information on the Sound Device's MixPre-D 2-channel field mixer, visit the MixPre-D product page at sounddevices.com.